When people have an exciting interview coming up, they tend to do a lot of preparing, but one of the things that they don't always prepare for is how to connect with the person interviewing you. They practice their pitch, they practice interview questions, but they don't put a lot of stock into how can I go in there and build a relationship quickly with a person interviewing me. When you build that relationship and you find out about them, you become more memorable. And when you become more memorable, you become more hireable. In today's video, I'm gonna give you 4 great questions you can ask your interviewer to immediately start to build rapport and become a more memorable candidate. Let's go. Now, the first thing I want you to ask the person interviewing you at the end of the interview when they give you an opportunity to ask questions is, what is your favorite thing about working for this company? This is a great question for you to ask them because it's going to give you a glimpse into what they like about the organization. They're going to share parts of themselves that align with the organization. So not only are you learning more about the organization and its benefits, but you're learning more specifically about them and what they like and what has made this a good place for them. And that kind of opens up a dialogue in learning about them and building rapport, which is really important. So the first question I want you to ask is that one: what is your favorite thing about working at this company? Now, this next question is similar but different in a very meaningful way. And that question is, what would you say is the most challenging part of your job? And this allows you to learn a lot about a person. When someone shares with you their favorite thing, you're gonna learn what's appealing to them. But when you ask them what the most challenging thing is, you learn a little bit more about them and their weaknesses. And if they go, one of the things that's really challenging for me is blank. And you can go, I totally understand that. I've had that in previous roles, and it does make it a little bit more challenging to juggle some of the things you have to deal with, right? What you're doing there is you're expressing a commonality. You're asking them a question, they're sharing with you what's difficult for them, and then you're saying, I see that and I understand that, and that's going to allow you to build rapport quickly, and again, make you more memorable as a candidate. This might be one of my favorite questions to ask a person interviewing me if I want to find out more about them and establish rapport, and that's, what brought you to this company? I think it's an awesome question because there are so many different ways people arrive at companies. Sometimes there's a recruiter who reaches out to them. Sometimes they've specifically targeted this company for years and then they finally got in. Sometimes it's a mission alignment, right? They're doing something that really resonates with you and you wanted to be a part of it. No matter what the answer, you're going to learn a ton about that person, what makes them tick, what's appealing to them, and ultimately what brought them in. Very rarely do you ask someone this question and you get a boring or meaningless story. Most of the time, it matters and it allows you to uncover a little bit more about them, learn a little bit more about them, and then again, that right there is a quick way for you to build rapport. Now, this last question I want you to ask, it does a lot. And it's a good one. So if you're still watching, great, because you're about to learn a very valuable question you can ask the person interviewing you. And this question is, what is the most exciting way that you would say you have developed or grown since you joined this company? Now, I preface the question with, what is the most exciting way? If you just say, what would you say, how would you say you've grown or developed since you joined this company? It can be a little forward, a little aggressive. But when you say, what was the most exciting way, what you're doing is you're putting a positive preface there. They can see that your intent is positive because you're saying, what is the most exciting way? But once you ask this question, what do you learn? You learn a lot about people, right? You learn, how they're trying to grow and develop as professionals, what they're interested in. You also learn about the company. How does the company invest in their people? What avenues are open for people to grow and learn and perhaps diversify their skill set? So it is a great question to ask because you are going to learn a lot about them, a lot about what motivates them, a lot about the ways they want to continue to grow or develop, but you're going to also learn a lot about the organization. And believe me, I am always interested in learning more about the company and specifically, how do you develop and grow your people? Now, this video is done, but I have some amazing news for you. Watch this video here. This video is similar, but instead of asking questions to build rapport with the person interviewing you, you're gonna be asking questions so you can learn what the day-to-day is for your job, and that is critical. If you go into a job without knowing exactly what you're doing and what's expected of you, it's a mistake. Here it is.